Hello, let's learn about the calculator of Soapah. What do we do here? The first thing to do is, of course, to give a name to our recipe. The name is Awesome Soap. And afterwards, we select a soap type. What kind of soap we are making? Is it liquid? Is it solid? Or is it something mixed, like a whipped soap, like a liquid soap that you want it to be thicker? Whatever you would like to do, you can enter the percentages here like this, and then we calculate that for you. Let's do a solid soap right now. And you can also select if you have a master batch or not. Master batch is not something that a beginner needs to be worried about. Master batch is when we don't use lye directly when we are making soap, but we make the lye solution with water beforehand to be able to use it quickly later. If you are not doing master batch, you don't need to be worried about it right now. And next section is recipe measurements. This shows how you would like to tell us how much you want to use an oil. For example, you might want to tell us that you want to use 10 ounces of olive oil and 5 ounces of coconut oil. Then you select the ounces. Or it may be grams. Or you know the total oil weight that you are going to use and you want to give us percentages. Total oil weight default here is 1000 grams because that actually is the amount that usually fills a normal default mold that makes 9 or 10 bars of soap. So it can be 1000, it can be different. Or if you have a mold but you don't know how much batter it's going to take, how much oil weight it's going to take to fill it up, then you can tell us the dimensions of this mold, like in inches or in centimeters. Like, let's say it is 3 inches wide, 2 inches high, and 10 inches in the length. Then we calculate the total oil weight for you, as you can see. Or we can go back. Let's go back right now and make that 1000. And the next section is the liquid amount that we are going to use. This is most of the time water, but it can also be milk, it can be a juice, it can be anything else that is okay to use in soap. First option is to enter it as liquid lye ratio. The default is 2:1 here, or you can choose to do a water discount and make it like 1.8, 1.5, whichever you like. 2:1 is the default for cold process soap, which is basically the maximum for cold process soap that is recommended. In the hot process, you would need a little bit more water than this. Other option is the lye concentration. Lye concentration is the amount of lye within the lye plus water solution. So 33.33% would mean that it is 1/3. So it would still be equal to 2:1 ratio. Or you can select liquid as percent of oils instead of as a percentage to lye. This is usually used for hot process, and hot process default would be 38%. Of course, you can also increase or decrease that however you like. Let's go do our liquid lye ratio of 2:1. And here we have superfat. Superfat usually is used as 5% for a beginner, and then you can increase or decrease it according to what you want from your soap. For example, a soap that you want it to be really conditioning and you are trying to counteract the cleansing value, then you might want to increase this to like 10%, 15%, however you like. Or if you are making a dish soap, for example, you may want a 0% superfat. Again, however you like. Let's go with 5 right now. And the next section is adding oils. Here we click add oils. You can see the list of oils here. We have endless oils and all the information is checked and rechecked here, so you can trust that. And you can either select one or you can go check the qualities of it to see what it adds, like sap values, if it increases the bubbliness of leather, if it increases cleansing, conditioning, hardness, longevity, creamy leather, and DOS risk. What is DOS risk? DOS means dreaded orange spots, which happens sometimes in our soap. We have a learning center article about this that you may want to go check out. It is something you don't want, and it is something that makes your soap undesirable. So you would like to keep this risk below 12 at all times. Anyways, let's select some oils. Olive oil, coconut oil. Let's do some shea butter. Let's add some castor oil and maybe some cocoa butter. Expensive, but let's splurge. Select and go back. Since we selected percentages as our recipe measurements, what we are seeing here is the percentages. Let's go with, like, let's say a high amount of olive oil to make it conditioning, 45%. 20% coconut oil is usually a good amount. Let's say 15% of shea butter, which you don't want too much of this. 15 is great. And castor oil is only recommended up to 10%. 5 is a great percentage. 40, 45 makes 85, and we have 15% left. Let's add 15% of cocoa butter, which is going to make our soap hard. Okay, as you can see, here we give you the ounce and gram versions of these. And let's select some additives, right? What do we want to add here? To increase leather, let's add some sugar. Yeah. Here you can also go see the qualities of sugar and purpose of it, why it is used, suggested amount in percentages, and the method of using. Select and go back. Let's add 0.5% like it was suggested. You can use more or less, but it is up to you. But you should know that there are repercussions, like consequences of using too much. It may make your soap a bit too hot. Okay, and let's check fragrance. That is the next section. Fragrance, of course, you can just say 0 here. This is not going to change anything in your lye or liquid calculations. You can change this later as well. We only add it here so you know if you want to add 3, 4, 5% of fragrance, what that means in ounces and grams, and we would like to show that to you. Let's select 3 or let's do 4. And after that, tags. This is going to be a hard bar, of course, and this is going to be a conditioning bar. Okay, and then you can enter your notes here, whichever you would like to remember, whatever you would like to remember. For example, let's say completely dissolve sugar in water. Yep, we don't want to forget this. And then you can add an image and check results. So here we can see the liquid required, lye weight, oil weight, total batch amount, your super fat amount, everything that is necessary for you, saturated and unsaturated percentages as well. Here you can see the amount of oils that you need to add. That is easily shown. The amount of fragrance to add, 40 gram here for 4%. And here you can see the fatty acid profiles. You can see, for example, linoleic and linoleic acids are in total below 12%, which is a good thing. And here you can see your soap qualities. The good thing about this graph is that these gray areas show the suggested recommended ranges for each of these qualities, so you know if your soap is going to be a good one or not. Of course, soap making is finicky, and there are some soap types that may be way out of range of these recommendations, but they may be amazing soaps. For example, castile soap, pure olive oil that is not going to have any cleansing at all, and it is definitely not going to be hard, but that is an amazing oil with enough time of curing. Or pure coconut oil. It may seem very drying on this chart, it may seem like there isn't enough conditioning, but if you have enough super fat, it is going to counteract that, and it is going to end up being an amazing soap. So keep that in mind, but know that if you are a beginner especially, you would like to keep it to within these ranges to make sure that your soap is at least is going to be a good bar of soap that is high quality. After that, you may start branching into different ones. Okay, let's save this. And our awesome soap is here, and you can get a print out of this for yourself, a PDF version that you can use to share with your friends, with your groups, and you can get a printout of it so that you can have it next to you while you are making your soap. This is it. I hope you have learned something, and thank you so much for being here.